Now that you understand the silkscreen process, you're going to do your final silkscreen design. That is going to be graded. So for my advanced students, assume that you've used this. You're going to loosen this, remove your test screen, and lay the ring down that does not have any metal. You're going to take your mesh screen, lay that on top, and then put the piece that's got the metal on top of it, like that. And then once you tighten this, you want to get this fabric really nice and tight. Now, if for some reason you're struggling to get that nice and tight, notice how I'm pulling this and rotating, pulling it and rotating. If you're struggling to get it nice and tight because maybe the ring is too loose, then if you have an extra pantyhose, then do pantyhose again. But if I'm using this, I want to cut all this excess off because, again, I don't want to get that into the ink and into my design. Okay, so you're going to cut it off so it looks like that. For the rest of us, you're going to take out your old design. So again, you're going to loosen this, and now we don't have the pantyhose. Now you have a piece of the pantyhose left. So I'm going to take that off and do the same thing that the advanced students did, but instead of the white screen, you're going to have the extra piece of pantyhose here. So again, like the advanced students did the first time, you're going to lay that over like that. Make sure it's hanging out. Put this ring on top, the one with the metal on it, over top until that hugs it and it's inside that. Tighten this really as tight as you can. Sorry, I keep doing that. Make this as tight as you can. And then what you're going to do, it's easier for me to flip it so it's down so that I can grab these edges and rotate. And I really, again, the most important thing is that this pantyhose is really nice and stretched and tight. You want a tight screen. If it's loose, you can get ink under it while you're printing, and that will blur the edges of your design. You may have had that happen on the first one, so that's one way to prevent it, is to make sure that your screen is really nice and tight. And let me just pull this up here. See, the more I keep pulling, see how I'm pulling that through like that? That's what you want to try to do. And again, if your design is smaller than, a lot smaller than the ring, then you really don't need this fabric to spread all the way to the edge, because again, we're only screen printing where the design is. So for me, I'm going to pull this really nice and tight. Even though I have fabric there, the tighter, the better. And I'm going to cut this excess off so that it doesn't get in my way. Uh-oh. I'm freezing here. My computer. What if this is good? Okay, I'm cutting that excess off. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just cut this off. Okay. So this time, actually, I'm going to do it a little differently, but not so differently that you'll be confused. Okay. So again, laying my screen flat, because this is how I'm going to screen print, is with this nice and flat. I might actually use the bigger, no, I'll use the small one. With this nice and flat, I'm going to trace around my letters. You can do words. Now, this is something that I designed on the computer. I'm going to trace around my letters because instead, I want to print the black, so that's what I want to mask out. So all I'm going to do is trace around the letters so that I know I just need to, I'm going to paint my glue inside there. I don't need to color the entire background because I know when I'm doing the glue, I know what to do. And again, I'm trying to get as close to these letters as possible. And again, I'm drawing on paper anyway, so my Sharpie is going through to the paper. So you can go on to dafont.com if you want to do words and find a font style. And I can do a demo. Actually, I will do a screen record demo if that's what you want to do. If you have a printer at home. Or you can just hand draw the same way we did the dog or the pets. Do your own original design. Now the reason I don't paint with glue directly over this is because the glue would stick. And if I flip it the other way, I'm not going to get as nice, clean, tight of a design. Now because my pantyhose are pulled as tight as I possibly can, I'm not getting a lot of movement on the fabric. So see if I do that. There's not a lot of movement. So when I lift this, I can see now. Now, this is where I want to flip it upside down. So I'm going to paint the background again with my glue that I put back in here. I have paper underneath so that I don't get glue all over the place. I might even get another sheet because I was making a big mess last time. And let me get in here. Now this time I have a better brush. This is a little bit harder bristle, and this soft one is so that I can paint this whole big background later, so it'll go faster. So now I'm painting around that. Now this one I'm not going to video the whole thing. I'm going to do this and show it to you later.